Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay. This is Coloring Bliss. I have sleepy little Rose back there, and I have my husband and business partner Steve here with me today.
Hi everyone.
And we're going to talk about something that every artist, every crafter, scrapbooker, illustrator, we all need this in our art studio or in our arting area. And that is really good task lighting. Now I'm really excited to talk about it because I have a strong opinion about my task lighting, and we're going to try something brand new today that I've never tried before for task lighting. So I'm really excited. But what I want to talk about first though is my most favorite lighting that I've ever had for doing art. It's super impractical, but I want to show it to you anyway. So we've got another camera going here, and you can see up above me in our art studio, I have two humongous lights. Tell me about these lights, Steve, because you purchased them when we first put this studio together. It's 7 years ago now that we put this studio together. Yep.
Yeah, these are some relatively inexpensive panel lights off of Amazon. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're just, you know, the bigger your light is and the closer it is to you, the softer it is.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes them nice for a studio setup. They're really made primarily for like video production.
Right. But
and so they work great for, you know, our studio, but like you said, they're large.
Yeah. So when we do all of our color checking for the color pencils charts that we make, whenever I sit down to do any kind of art, these are the lights that I sit under. I love them, and if I could have all of you have these lights, I would give them to you. So one of the things I love about these studio lights that we have is that they are considered a daylight type light. So Steve, tell us what a daylight light is.
Well, where the name is coming from is basically it's referring to the middle of the day. So say noonish. That's when the light is most neutral in color or in temperature. Okay. So if you think about a sunset, for instance, as the sun starts to go down, you know, that's when you get to golden hour in photography or video. And
we love golden hour because it makes our skin
it makes
look
everything
beautiful.
Look amazing. Yeah.
Everything looks beautiful.
It's amazing for photography and all of that and landscapes, but it's terrible if you want to make a color decision because it is so warm.
Right. So it would change the colors because it has color in that light.
Yeah. And then if you think about after the sun goes down, you get blue hour is what it's called. And the light gets really blue. Well, that's the opposite end of the spectrum. On one end, you have the yellow light and warm yellow-orange. Uh-huh. On the other end, you have blue.
Which is a cooler color.
And blue can equally affect a misperception of what you're looking at if you're trying to make a color decision.
Right.
And so daylight light, noon, the sun is highest in the sky. That is when the light color is most neutral. That's the best type of light to make a color decision.
Right. So ideally, we would all have a beautiful art studio with windows facing which direction?
North, because then no sunlight is coming in contaminating. You're just getting ambient light from outside.
We're getting ambient light coming in, and we would do all of our art and color choices at noon.
Yep.
Which is impractical, and that's why we're here talking about lighting, and that's why I love this lighting. I can turn on my lights. I mean, look, okay, this is straight down on my desk, and you can see we've got a reflection right here from the right-hand light and a reflection here. We don't like these reflections, but it's just a nature of this glass top that I use that I love, so we have to have this glass top. And so we have reflections, but I want you to look at the shadows and how, like, see my hand shadow right here, how fuzzy and, soft it is, because we have light coming from both directions, and it comes down. It's the most ideal position for me to do art is right here. Now, when I'm not in my art studio, I often do art downstairs sitting at my couch. then I need a different kind of light. And for that, I reach for OttLights. Now, I'm not sponsored by any of these lighting companies, but I am a huge fan of OttLights because they have such beautiful daylight and the quality of the lamps. Will you hand me that first one there? The quality of the lamps is amazing. This lamp right here, I purchased, I think it's been 15 years.
Yeah.
And I think I got it at Michael's no, I think it was Michael's, and I used a 40% off coupon, and it was a huge investment because the OttLights were really, really expensive. They've come down. They're still kind of pricey, but when I bought this, it was a huge investment, and it's an awesome light. But let me show you what it does here. So if I turn to this one, we're looking straight down at the light. It has a bendable arm, so I can adjust it this way, I can adjust it this way, and then it has a light switch right here that allows me to see it in 3 different lumens or brightness. So I'm going to turn off. We're going to talk about these lights here for a second. Sorry, Rose. Okay, here we are in the sort of dark. This is the first, second, and third. I don't know if you can tell the difference as it went up. But that is called lumens, when it has a brightness change. Sometimes when you're shopping for lights, you'll see that they say lumens on it, and it'll tell you the max lumens, the max brightness you can get out of a light. So that's one word you might find as you're shopping for lighting. Another word you might find is kelvins. Kelvins is what Steve was talking about, that temperature. Now, this light right here doesn't change kelvins, but I have other task lights that does change the kelvins, so I can change it from warm to a cooler temperature light, or from a goldish light to a bluer light. So those are the 2 words you might run into. There's others like wattage, and I don't know, I could throw out a whole bunch of different terminology, but the 2 most important that I want you to remember is lumens, which means brightness, and kelvins, which means that color range that we were talking about. Okay, you may have noticed when I turned off the big top studio lights and then turned this light on, we had a color change.
Right.
So Steve, what do you think is going on there? Because this is supposed to be daylight. This lamp here is supposed to be daylight, and the ones above are daylight. So can you explain that?
Yeah. So daylight is considered anything from 5,000 Kelvin to 6,500 Kelvin.
So there's a spectrum.
Right, there's a spectrum of light, and it makes sense if you're thinking again about the sun in the sky, and maybe 11 o'clock a.m., and then it goes to 12, to 1, to 2 p.m. It is going to change color a little bit on you.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's not daylight. So 5,000 Kelvin is great for making color choices. 6,500 is great for making color choices. It kind of becomes a personal preference. But what you saw in that light is, my guess is that OttLite is probably 5,000 Kelvin.
Okay.
Because when you turn the lights off, these upper lights off.
Okay. Should we turn them back on now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Notice, so we'll do it again, right? So if you look at that, these lights above are about, I think they're probably at 6,500.
Okay.
And notice that everything looks nice. I color balanced it so your skin looks very natural.
Yeah.
And so now when we turn these off, they're calibrated. The camera is expecting 6,500.
Okay.
So when we turn this off, and then you turn that on, you can see that it's more warm, right?
Yeah.
And look how your skin looks a little more yellow now.
More yellow, yeah.
Right. That's because it's 5,000. If it was 6,500, it'd look exactly the same.
Okay, that's cool. So let me show you another lamp that I have. Steve, let's trade out here. This is another OttLite that I've had. This one since 2007. Let me turn it on. Now this is one of the things I don't like about this lamp. This is the only OttLite that I've ever had that has been finicky. There we go. Okay. And it has to do with the button, not the lamp. So this lamp I wouldn't recommend, but they don't make it anymore, and I bet they don't make it anymore because of the problem with the switch. But I bought this lamp back in 2017 just for $28, and I use it for putting on my makeup. and because it can tilt all the way up. And I want to make sure that, again, making color choices for my makeup is going to look the same under my makeup light as it does under the studio lights. But this light has been really great. It's a basic, like one of the cheapest OttLights you can get. It's just 28 bucks. It's been a great little OttLight. So,
and that looks to me like it's probably 6,500.
Oh,
because it
good.
looks about the same color of light as our upper lights.
Yeah. So again, and then I have like 2 or 3 other brands, but the OttLights have been the best, except for the switch on this light here. They've been the best for me, but they have a problem. They have kind of, in my opinion, a fatal flaw. They have the natural daylight, which I love. It's a desk lamp, which I love, and OttLite also makes floor lamps. And they make magnifying lamps. I've been tempted, now that my eyes are getting a little weaker as I get so old, I've been tempted to get the magnifier light for when I'm doing really small details. So that's some of the things I look for in a lamp. I want it to easily adjust. Sometimes it comes with bonuses, like they'll have USB chargers, they'll have clocks, they'll have storage. They'll even have a little place where you can charge your phone or your tablet. So there's lots of different add-ons you can get. This is like your pure, most basic OttLite right here. That's why it was only 28 bucks. But if you look straight down, and let's say I'm coloring in this coloring book here. Let me just flip open to a page that I've done. Let's say I'm in here coloring. And I take my hand and I put it over, because I'm right-handed. Look at that horrible shadow. Now, this is not being picky. If you're sitting there for 5 hours working on a coloring page and you have a lamp like this and it's casting a shadow, not only is it going to mess up how you choose your colors, but it creates eye strain because you're squinting into the shadows. I hate it. I want to be able to color for as many hours as I want. But that shadow there, you can see how bad that shadow is. Look, it makes it so you can hardly see her face. It's really bad. So they also have clamp lamps that you can clamp exactly where you want. So there, I would, when you position your lamp, think about whether you're right-handed or left-handed. I can move the lamp over to the left and it makes the shadow less obtrusive, but it's still there. It's still bugging me. And like I showed you before with our studio lights, because they're coming from 2 different directions, we get that
and
ambient.
they're at an angle. We intentionally did them at an angle.
They're at an angle. They work really good to get rid of that shadow, or at least soften the shadow.
Right.
So that's amazing. Now, I was on Facebook the other day and I was searching in some of the coloring groups, and I wish I had taken a screenshot of this post, because this woman had an amazing setup of all of her Ohuhu markers, and then she had this lamp that I had never seen before, and I had to buy it. I mean, I think it was like 10 minutes after seeing that post, I said to Steve, we're buying this and we're doing a video because this is really good. So let me show you what I found. Check it out. It is a half moon light. So it's going to arch up and over my artwork, just like these lights above me arch over my head. Isn't that cool? And guess what that's being used for? They do it for nail art. They do it for like people who are putting eyelashes on, you know, your eyelash extensions. They use this light. So it's being used in the beauty community, but I don't think it has made its way enough. At least we'll see. I've never even opened the package, so I'm just really positive and excited about this. But this light has a little spot for a phone, so if you wanted to film yourself coloring, you can either put it down or you can tilt it and watch a TV show right there on your phone while you're coloring or doing your art or your lettering or whatever it is that you're working on. And it's supposed to be able to adjust in both lumens, which is brightness, and kelvins, which is temperature. So you can choose whichever direction you want to go. So let's pull this out and set it up. While I'm opening this up, let me tell you a little bit about the price. It was $90, but at the time of purchase, it had a 20% off coupon, which I was really excited about, and it helped me pull the trigger. Whoa, check out this box, you guys. Okay, so we've got our instruction manual. This is the light right here. These are the feet, I believe. It comes with a bag that you can store it in, which I guess if you're going to travel with it, that would be good. Like moving from room to room, you could put it in a bag. So let me see here. Oh, they're heavy. These are the feet to hold it on both sides. They're really heavy, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice quality.
Steel.
And let me get this out. Oh, this is the clamp for the phone right here. So we'll play around with that a little bit. That was just like, when I bought it, I thought, oh, that's kind of fun that I can have a phone there, but it wasn't the reason I bought it. And some of the half moon lights I looked at didn't have a little clamp on it, and some of them did. So as you're shopping, speaking of shopping, I'm going to put a link to a couple OttLites that I really like, and I'm going to put a link to this specific light. So if you are like me and you're like, whoa, I got to try this out, you can get to it really quickly and at least check out the light that I chose. There were a lot of options. Here's our plug. Let me show you. Well, we got a plug, and then we got the light. Let me get this out of the box and let's assemble it. Okay, one of the bonuses of this light, and Steve noticed it immediately when I pulled it out, was the rhinestone sparkles on the top. Personally, I think I would have preferred just plain white, but if you're going to bling something, let's bling it, you know? That's pretty fun. And then it opens up like this. Okay.
Oh, it's wider than I pictured. That's
It's
nice.
29 inches wide at the base. So hopefully you're going to be able to see all this. And let me go this direction so you can see. You can adjust where you want this. This is a little bit sticky on the sides. I don't know if I like these rhinestones or not, but I don't know. Look how pretty. It's very pretty. Okay, so we've got feet that we need to put on. Let me see if I can show you in my other camera. I'm running cameras and assembling lamps and all kinds of stuff. Yep, just pops in. Oh, that's really nice. Okay, and then the other one is way over here. Can you see me working way in the back? Wow, that's easy. Okay, now we've got the power switch. Okay, so we've got the AC adapter, and then at the end of the AC adapter is one of these types of plugs, and it goes into this little socket thing like that. And then down along the line a little bit farther is our control, where we get to control the lumens and kelvins. I'm trying to use the correct terminology here. Steve will plug it in for us. And here we go. Let's turn it on. Come on, be as amazing as I want you to be. Whoa. Okay, I'm really excited about this. This is really cool. Okay, let me get the other camera so you can see. Maybe you can swing around this way, Steve, and get what it looks like from the different directions. While Steve's doing that, let's play around with, we've got brightness. It's supposed to have 10 different lumen settings. And then back down again. That's cool. We'll turn off the big light here in a second so we can see. And then warm. Did you see the change? To cool.
Oh, no.
That kelvins, the Kelvin setting is very impressive.
And it said it goes from 3,000 to 6,000 Kelvin, I think.
I think so. Is that what I wrote down?
I saw it on the box.
Oh, on the box. Very good, because we want it up in that 6,000 range for when we're picking colors. Okay, let me get onto this camera here, because we still need to install this little thing. Okay, so you can set it there. If you want your phone facing you so you can watch Coloring Bliss on YouTube while you're coloring. Or you can set it up here, and then you can have your camera facing straight down so that you can film yourself if you want to, or take photos of your coloring pages. Like, it ends up being like a photo stand. That's really cool. Okay, let's turn off the big lights and play around with the kelvins and the lumens and see what this does. So I got that light off. Okay, here we go straight down and bring up the controller. Let's bring it as bright as it will go. So this is the lumens. Okay, that's as bright as it will go. That's pretty cool. Look at this. This is so cool. Okay, and then temperature. Wow. This is a really good way to demonstrate how having the right temperature or the right kelvins will change how your coloring looks. Let me put my coloring book in here.
I think my phone is on auto white balance, so let's switch to one of the other ones.
Okay, we'll go here.
Because that'll show.
And you can see we've got the arch coming up and above like this. And this is the warm light. Looks beautiful with the tan coloring paper. Yeah. I love warm light. It makes me look really pretty. And then,
whoa.
Oh.
So that must be 3,000. Is that the warmest?
And then,
and then jumps to 6,000.
So there's several different settings to try. Oh, but that makes my eyes relax. And that's one of the things they talked about, is if you get the right lumens and the right Kelvin setting for yourself, your eyes will relax, you'll have less eye strain, and you can work longer. More coloring. That is awesome. Okay, I'm kind of in love with this. Oh, shadow. That was the big thing, right? I wanted to see if it eliminates shadow like my big lighting above does. I wish I could. What if I slid this way? There. Can you see how soft my shadow is? That's so cool. That's like huge difference between this and that other light. Will you hand me one of the other? That one over there is still plugged in, the one with the problematic button. I'm going to set it here. Okay, bring this up and turn this one on. Again, it's having problems coming on. Oh, there it came on. Okay, and then we turn off this one and we'll see how severe the shadow is. Look how severe that is. That's the best word I can come up with, severe. That is eye straining in maximum position there. And then again, if we turn this light off and my new light back on, and the shadow is all soft and dispersed, and wow. This is kind of game-changing. I have like a work surface downstairs that I put on my lap, and I wonder if this is too wide for it. That's my only concern. But I know they had some half-moon lights that were not quite so wide. So you could probably shop for that if you're worried about the width being too wide.
Because I was wondering, from a coloring perspective, if it would be too narrow, like, for you to get your hand in there.
Yeah, because you got to have room for, like, when I'm coloring, like, for instance, on this page here that I colored, I'll have, let me get this lamp out of the way, I'll have a paper that I'm keeping my notes on, all the different colors I used on the different spots, and then I'll have a paper, I'll have my coloring page, and then I'll have, usually, right here, all my color pencils set up in a row on my tray. So that gives me room for a whole piece of paper, my coloring page, and my color pencils all under this arch.
Oh.
That's really impressive. Okay. Well, let me turn on the big light and I'll give you my last thoughts and first impressions on my new lighting for downstairs where I color. Yeah, the bling is kind of fun. I'm liking the bling. All right, so my final thoughts and my first impressions on this new lighting system is it's amazing. It gets rid of the shadow. We have control over the lumens and the kelvins. The only downside I can see is its pretty wide footprint is both a downside and a positive. A positive being there's plenty of room underneath this arch for me to do whatever I want to do. But if you're working in a small desk area or on your lap, you might have some troubles with that wide stance that it has. But it's sturdy, it feels good, it's not heating up. It said it's not supposed to like make you hot. It feels a little warm, but not hot. Like, yeah, I'm not bothered by the amount of temperature that's coming off of this. So yeah, I'm going to put links in the video description. I think that if you have the space for it and you're frustrated with your lighting, this might be the trick, the thing to try for your art area. I'm so excited. I can't wait to set it up. Lights are one of those things in my art studio that get stolen. Our boys are always stealing our lighting, our different kinds of lighting. So to have another really good light source, I think will be good for the entire family. It was a family investment.
I think this one's going to get stolen by Carter.
Yeah, I think Carter's going to really like, because he takes photos of like really high polished stones. Yeah. And this won't cast a shadow. And yeah, he can set up his phone up here and take shots straight down. Yeah, this one might get stolen. Maybe the rhinestones will help keep my boys from stealing it. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a little bit about lighting. And let me know in the comments below, what's more important to you, lumens or kelvins? The color of the light or how bright the light is? I'm curious, lumens or kelvins? Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful, colorful, very bright, blissful day. Bye-bye, everyone.